Hey, what's going on, guys? Unless you've been living under the rock, you've seen that MrBeast is in big trouble right now. It's come out that one of his best friends, the guy that turned out to be trans, he's into minors, and a lot of bad things came out from the Discord channel. MrBeast was probably aware of the fact that his right hand man presumably is into minors. There's also a employee or a manager that he hired that was a registered sex offender. His former employee came out and made a hit piece about him, which gained like 10 million views in a couple days. So his empire is on the verge of implosion. Different people are coming out now. People that were part of MrBeast contest were in deplorable conditions. One was in a challenge of 30 days of being locked up by himself. Solitary confinement challenge, which is pretty insane. The solitary confinement is like psychological documentaries can cause permanent brain damage. This contestant was also stuck in a room. It wouldn't even turn off the lights at night, sleep deprived, which is considered a war crime. They're not supposed to do it to terrorists. Sleep deprived is a form of mental torture. The human brain really can't go above like 12, 13 days being sleep deprived. He has come out with a full-on interview, but anyways, I'm not going to keep going on the details. It's all over the internet. In this video, I want to talk about all the downsides of being a generalist like MrBeast. And if you're somebody that wants to achieve financial freedom or figure out a way to quit your 9 to 5, I want to talk about the value of becoming a specialist, because as a specialist, you don't have to deal with this much bullshit that MrBeast has to deal with. And I'm not saying MrBeast is innocent, nor am I saying he's guilty. Time will tell. It's still too early to define those things. But MrBeast is almost like a victim of being a generalist. As a kid, he didn't really fit in with the crowd. He used YouTube as a vehicle to gain self-identity in this world. But the problem is when you make it your sole mission in life to become #1 YouTuber, you are going to, whether knowingly or unknowingly, allow a YouTube algorithm to begin to shape who you are and how you think and how you treat people. Because if your #1 goal is to gain more viewers per video, get more subscribers, you are going to be forced to subtly change your behavior to achieve that goal. And over time, you will lose your humanity. Apparently, 50% of MrBeast employees don't really like him. It's a toxic work culture. I think deep down, MrBeast is being stuck in this position of extreme stress, extreme pressure that he put on himself, by the way. But when someone is on a constant levels of cortisol and stress, you begin to lose your mind a bit. And I believe this is what's been happening to Jimmy for a little while. You are going to begin pushing every contest. Even if you see a contestant really struggling with solitary confinement or sleep deprivation, you're gonna want that viral video. You're searching for that viral video, so you may turn a blind eye to their suffering. And it's gonna happen little at a time, but it's like over time you've completely changed as a person. And to me, this is also a side effect of MrBeast always talks about how he's philanthropic, like he doesn't care about money, he doesn't care about buying like nice cars and mansions, and he's just this like overly nice guy that wants to change the world for better. But with all these stories coming out, it is very clear that is not the true Jimmy. That is the positive image, PR image that Jimmy has projected into the world. But the true Jimmy is somebody that got addicted to success. And success is addicting because you are gaining personal significance in the world through the vehicle of YouTube and becoming a #1 YouTuber. And it's like the ego is an incredible force, and if left unchecked, it's one of the main reasons it takes down most extremely successful people. We've seen it time and time again. And Jimmy, this is not special human, right? He's human just like any of us, right? But the problem that Jimmy is in right now is that because his success depends on being the #1 YouTuber and the YouTube algorithm favors dopamine-centric content, specifically because there's tons of little kids on YouTube and little kids, that's what they gravitate towards, then knowingly or unknowingly, Jimmy's content became more centered around kids. And even he's been accused of creating illegal gambling, illegal casino type games for kids. And He's probably most likely guilty of that. There's many clips of evidence that show that, but it's like the algorithm kind of influenced Jimmy. It's like the devil on his shoulder that influenced Jimmy over the years to cater his content towards little kids, and little kids are more easily manipulated and what drives the revenue fastest and easiest. You can't sell high ticket offers to little kids, right? Little kids can only buy low tickets. So more and more he is all about just like shock value and dopamine and marketing to little kids. And it's like you lose your way, because the only way for growth in that kind of journey is to make the content more and more sensationalized. He started bringing in CGI, started faking some of the contests, which has come out now, because you're stuck in this YouTube algorithm hamster wheel, and you don't even know how unfree you are. You don't even know like how much of a slave you've become to the algorithm. One comment described Jimmy, and in my mind it hit the nail on the head. It said, so Jimmy became heartless and soulless, just like the YouTube algorithm personified. And that's so true, because when you become a generalist, like, you're no longer doing it for you, or you're doing it for the masses, for the audience. And unfortunately, when you target the masses, you can't do high ticket or high level. You got to go extremely low level, shock value stuff. And that's going to lead down a darker and darker path, in my opinion, because I think it starts from within and it goes externally outwards. So for example, over time, Jimmy had to compromise with himself to create content, more shock value, more dopamine filled stuff, because that's what the algorithm rewards. But Jimmy's a smart guy. There's a part of him that hated that, right? That rejected that part of himself. And that rejection is now externalized to rejecting other people's needs on the set or his staff. So this is why you cannot chase success for the sake of success, or you cannot chase success due to external metrics. That's always going to lead you astray, because you're living your entire life dictated by external opinions of you, which means you'll never be happy, which means you're actually guaranteeing that you're always going to be unfulfilled and unhappy. And I'm not sitting here saying like I'm happy all the time, but I have general sense of peace because I don't have to go cater to the masses or say things that I don't want to talk about. I specialize in certain skills. For me, it's digital marketing, serving small business owners, creating a coaching program, teaching other people about what I know about digital marketing and SEO. And that's all I need to talk about, because I have a high ticket offer. I don't need thousands or millions of views to make good money. I need even a couple hundred views, because I have a high ticket offer. I can make good money. I can have financial freedom, and I can wake up every day without having this huge enterprise of like hundreds of people that are working for me. At any point I do something wrong, and one individual that worked for me makes a hit piece and it gets 10 million views within a few days, and my career is in jeopardy. Like, how crazy is that the number one YouTuber was this vulnerable, right? I think it's like we're still at the wake of it, and I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned here. And over the next coming days and weeks, we're going to learn a lot just through watching this whole saga play out. But I'm thinking in my head that it's not always a glorious thing to be the number one guy. They say heavy is the head that wears the crown. What is it that you want in life, right? Like, I want to tell, especially people that are looking into becoming YouTubers and whatnot, like, you don't need to become YouTube famous to make really good money. Yes, you can use YouTube, but use it to advertise or market your skills. First, go out there and put in the work, go learn things, go learn skills that can help other people. I suggest you learn skills that helps business owners, because those are the people that have money to spend and they got bigger problems than the average person. But go learn, whether it's social media marketing or SEO or lead generation, whatever that might be. Go learn it. It's not that hard. If you just stick to it for the next 3-4 months, you can learn it, get some money coming in, quit your job, become a solo entrepreneur, and you're well on your way to live a life of freedom. More stress-free life than trying to become the number one YouTuber. If you have those desires to wanting to become number one at whatever the cost, then maybe you have to become self-aware and understand, where is that desire coming from? Is it coming from an insecurity from the past because I didn't feel like I didn't belong? It's usually comes from our past, right? Our childhood, the insecurities that stem from that. But I think it's really important to start to identify those things and become more aware or in tune with where these erroneous desires come from. Because as human beings, we don't even understand that we don't have that much free will. Like, we're a slave to our past, and we're a slave to our unconscious imprints and conditioning. I personally would hate to be that generalist, because it's like you have to have this squeaky clean image, especially because you're catering to like content for little kids. It's one small slip up and your entire empire is on the verge of complete implosion and collapse. Guys, I believe in building a personal brand, especially as more and more AI comes out. I believe personal brand is something that you can hang your hat on and work on and have it be a positive ROI activity into the future. But be very careful of the lane that you choose to build that personal brand. And the biggest lesson I learned this week watching MrBeast Saga is that it is a much better life. If your goal is to have freedom, it's a much better path to becoming a specialist that's able to make really good money because you have a high ticket offer or a service. Then you don't need millions of views. You only need a couple hundred, a couple thousand, still make really good money, and just go live your life instead of becoming a slave to the algorithm, because your survival depends on going viral for an algorithm that is catered to the masses, catered to like low level stuff. That sounds like living hell to me. I'm somebody that I really value my freedom, but to constantly have this pressure of the algorithm behind my back, forget all the fans, forget all the employees that MrBeast has, all that combined, but just the algorithm that is unconsciously shaping who you are and how you think and how you treat people. That sounds like literal hell. So I'm going to leave it on that. If you guys have any comments, leave me a comment on that. But yeah, if you're starting from zero, what you need to do is, all you have is time if you're at zero. So you got to take your time and you got to exercise some courage, take some risks, push yourself outside your comfort zone. I would invest in a mentorship program. I would invest in different websites, try to rank websites in Google, try to learn about some sales and marketing and persuasion. And you need to become a learning machine, a sponge. You need to use the time every day to learn something that you're not good at, you're uncomfortable with. People that are excellent at mastering a skill faster than other people, they're constantly trying to master things that they can't do currently. And people that are put in tons and tons of time and they never get good at something, those are the people that are uncomfortable going outside their comfort zone. So they learn a skill that's easy to do and they try to do that over and over again. You guys have to push yourself outside your comfort zone if you want the most accelerated path of skill mastery and competence in the marketplace, so you can start making your own income. I'll leave it with that for now. We do have a coaching program that teaches you all of this, local marketing and ranking websites in Google. In my opinion, it's one of the best ways to make money on the internet. So if you're interested in that, click on the link on the description for our coaching program. All right, thank you. Peace.